This wine pairing is brought to you by Blendings Winery. For the movie Strays, we decided to go with a bourbon barrel Merlot, which has got a kind of rich darkness that Vin Diesel typifies as his character Rick in the movie Strays. And also, it was aged in a bourbon barrel, which brings together the bartender element from the movie. Thanks, Blendings Winery. Can I try that again?
John, you know what I tell myself every day before I get up and go on with my day?
What do you tell yourself every day before you get up and go on with your day?
Well, the first thing I tell myself is, if Vin can do it, so can I.
Of course.
And then I cry a little bit.
Right.
And then I say, life is a matador.
It's beautiful.
And what really, the cool thing about that phrase is that I learned later that it's in the movie Strays. It's prominently featured in the movie Strays.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been saying it in a Vin Diesel voice all my life.
You have? Well, you saw it in the stars, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw it in the Taurus zodiac sign.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bull.
Mm-hmm. And I am the matador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the...
With the
belt.
little, yeah, with the belt?
Yeah, he's got 3 stars. Belt. 3 stars, 3 stars.
Oh, are you talking about Orion?
Yeah.
Orion's not a matador.
O'Reilly's the matador?
No.
Oh.
Matador, there's no matador constellation.
Not one?
Well, maybe, I don't know.
So there's a
Anyways,
bull.
John,
Yes, Lincoln.
you know what I've been thinking lately?
What have you been thinking lately?
I've been thinking that life is a matador.
Ain't that just the way?
And coincidentally, Vin was also thinking that when he made the movie Strays.
Yes, he was.
Tell us a little bit about Strays.
So Strays is the feature film debut of Vin Diesel, not only in acting, but in writing and in production and in directing, which is incredible. This was at the point he had done Multifacial, and people seemed to enjoy it. They got a lot out of it. It won a series of awards when he sent it to different film festivals. Everybody really liked it. And then he just didn't really get into movies. It just didn't really happen for him. And it was rough. It was a rough point in his career. He thought, okay, I have a year and I'm just gonna go to LA. I'm gonna write this movie, I'm gonna shoot the thing, and then I'm gonna see, and if that doesn't work, maybe movies aren't for me. Which is kind of beautiful when you think about it. We almost missed out on Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
If not for Strays.
If not for Strays.
So he got a job, telemarketing. Essentially, he was selling tools, I believe, over the phone. He raised, if my numbers are correct, 43 grand to shoot this film in New York, which is where he shot it.
It says a lot about the economy of the early 2000s that someone could both support themselves and raise $43,000 to shoot a movie.
Absolutely does.
On a telemarketing job.
I will note, he was staying at a friend's house at the time, as he notes, this is perhaps a spoiler for the episode, but a very interesting note. This made it into Sundance, the film festival. It was nominated for their highest award.
The Palme de Jour.
Palme de...
Which means orange of joy in French. Which means, oh boy, I thought of a funnier one. Which means soup of the day in French.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And while this was not the soup of that particular day, it is to be noted that Robert Redford did very much appreciate the film, as he noted on the street to Vin Diesel.
Wow.
I bring that up to say there's an interview with Vin on the set, on the showroom,
I guess.
wherever they do those for the film festival. There's an interview with him, which I will be addressing quite a lot throughout the movie, where he discusses that he was sleeping on his friend's couch. He was stealing food from people. He was living essentially the Strays life.
Yes.
Just not the Vin Diesel character.
Yeah, just Vin Diesel in real life.
Yes. So
And
Strays.
Who else saw this movie?
Who else saw this movie but one Steven Johannes Spielberg?
Yes.
And he put him in his next film,
Saving Private Ryan.
Jaws. What?
Oh, sorry, Iron Giant.
Iron Giant. Saving Iron Giant.
Saving Iron's Giants.
He did put Vin Diesel in his next film, Saving Private Ryan, because he liked the raw aggression that he was bringing to the film.
Yeah, and raw aggression is a great word to describe some of this movie.
Absolutely. It's also my middle name. So Strays is about Rick, I believe.
Rick?
Rick. It's about Rick, So Strays is about Rick, the bouncer, and also mild drug dealer. He really does it only as a side business. It has been noted that perhaps he's not as part-time a drug dealer
as he'd like to believe.
He would like to believe. But the film is about, essentially, at its core, he runs into this woman, Sarah maybe,
Heather,
played
who
wonderfully by Suzanne Lanza.
who is this motivation for him to get his life together and to have a larger goal and to become what he would probably term as a real man.
A matador, perhaps.
Yes, because life is a bull rushing at you, and also life is the matador trying to dodge the bull, as the movie so eloquently points out to us.
Life is a lot of things. The film is, at its core, a hangout movie. Something that I really was not expecting. It is a independent drama, also something I wasn't expecting. There is one action sequence, and it is not an action sequence.
Not very motivated,
Not at all.
very stylized, not glorified at all.
In fact, I would go so far as to say it's probably my least favorite moment in the film.
It might be the worst moment in the film.
It feels like something that the movie knows it has to get through to get to the thing that it actually wanted to say. That said, this is, like I was saying before, a hangout movie. This is a movie where you get to spend time with these characters. Vin has even said himself, the heart of Strays is in the character interactions. It's in the relationships between him and Heather, between him and his friends. So much so, and this is very something I thought was very interesting, that they worked very hard. While it is a written script, they worked very hard practicing their lines over and over and over, even just on the subway, to the point that they wanted it to feel like conversations that two people were having, which I think is mostly successful.
I think he's mostly successful. I agree that the dialogue is mostly very natural sounding. There's definitely a few moments, there's a few extended monologues, extended unaccompanied singing, where it doesn't necessarily feel like real life. But
about the Tin Man scene?
Yes, I am talking about the Tin Man scene.
Talk about the Tin Man scene.
Yeah, so during the Tin Man scene, Rick is walking Heather home, and he says something along the lines of, everyone thinks I'm just a tough guy, everyone just thinks I'm this, beautiful, buff man that's awesome, but they're wrong. I am all that and so much more. And she says, really? And he says, close your eyes, and then proceeds to sing If I Only Had a Heart, the song that the Tin Man sings from Wizard of Oz, in its entirety, completely a cappella.
Yes, he does. And in that moment, I think we see two things. One, Vin Diesel once again bearing his heart, once again showing us that he wants to be an emotional, care-filled man. And two, he probably made the right call with acting.
Yeah, he can certainly carry a tune, but his voice is not really compelling in a way that a true pop singer needs to be.
Not in an a cappella sense. I will say, as a quick little side note, Vin does have 2 songs on Spotify, and they're both certified bangers, if I'm being honest. I listen to them as hype music pretty much every day.
Tell me about your overall impression of this movie.
So I went on a journey with Strays, if you don't mind.
Yeah, take me with you.
I bought Strays, this particular copy, on eBay for about $10.99 MSRP. And I was excited to watch it because we're doing this show. I was excited to dive into the show. After Multifacial, I really was preparing myself for something boiled down, something strong, something powerful. And then I watched the movie, and I thought it was all right. I thought it was okay. I was a little underwhelmed. I found it kind of boring. I thought it didn't really land in a lot of the ways that I wanted it to. It just didn't play. I was expecting it to be something that it necessarily wasn't. Then, for due diligence, I watched the interview that is also on this DVD from the film festival, and it completely turned me around on it. It was partially interview, partially making of documentary, and it showed me, in much the same way, the same journey that I had with the original Evil Dead. I approach films from a blanket statement of what the film is, and then sometimes things like this, things like The Evil Dead, are a little bit lower budget, a little bit more guerrilla, a little more run and gun in ways that I wasn't prepared to approach. And then I have to understand what it took to get the movie made and also what they thought they were getting at. Kind of a Rosetta Stone for the film. And then I watched it again, and let me tell you, Strays hits.
It's really good. I gotta say, having only seen it once, I feel like I'm in the same place that you were when you saw it the first time. I was impressed by kind of just how much he got, like how much footage was shot, how much dialogue he wrote.
Certainly.
How much work there was to make the editing feel seamless, even on the lack of budget that he had. But I gotta say, I also felt like there was kind of a reaching towards something that they didn't quite get. There was this idea that they wanted to make this grand statement, but they weren't really laying the groundwork throughout the movie to get that statement.
I don't know that I disagree with you on that takeaway. I think I'm a little bit more forgiving of it just in the context of it, but I don't think I think it is. There's a reason Vin didn't make this movie and then go, great, made him. We're done. I think he has more to say.
Yeah. So I think I can see the value in seeing it as part of the process and not necessarily as a kind of opus magnum, a kind of seminal final work of
Absolutely.
Vin's.
Yeah, I agree. A couple of fun facts before we get into our. Oh wait, do you hear that?
I do. It's time for a reading. Reading. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show. A couple of fun facts about Strays before we get into our questions and our vignettes. There is a scene on the subway that was technically illegal to shoot, and I find that very fun. They just sort of got on a subway, no permit, no questions, shot the shoot, got out of there. And it's a good scene. I think it's well worth making it into the film. I do firmly believe that no matter what they had captured, it would have made it into the film just for that reason.
Yeah.
But it is actually genuinely a very good
It's one of the better scenes. One of the pacing, I think the time constraint of the subway and maybe the added adrenaline and stress of shooting illegally on a subway gives that scene a kind of energy and a kind of motivation that the other scenes can lack.
100%. Yeah, I think it's a very fun one.
Yeah, what was the other fact you had?
There are so many. I think there is an interesting thing to be noted. Actually, we'll talk about that in possibly vignettes or maybe the questions.
Okay.
I already mentioned that it's his feature debut. I think that's just about it. You want to get into our questions?
Yeah, Jon, what did this tell you about yourself?
Oh, man. Strays taught me a lot about myself. I think there's two, if you don't mind, that I want to take a little crack at. One, you can just make stuff, and it's the same as multifacial. It's the same as the one before. You can just make stuff, and no one can stop you. Well, you know, the police can stop you and whatnot, but generally speaking, no one will stop you. And if you're nice enough, people will tend to let you do stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love when I'm nice and people let me do stuff.
Oh, so do I. Tell me about it. Number two, the thing that I think has taught me most about myself, first impressions are not everything. I think the way that I approached Strays was not fair, although maybe it was fair, just looking at it as a film, but looking at it as a feature debut. If I had made Strays, I would be proud of it, and I think Vin should be too.
Yeah, I love that.
What did this teach you about yourself, Lincoln?
This taught me absolutely nothing about myself. I kind of emerged as exactly the same person I started as.
Tough to hear. What did this teach you about Vin Diesel?
What this taught me about Vin Diesel is that he is someone who is so confident in his own charisma and his own abilities that his pride kind of goes all the way around to being the sort of honesty and a sort of humility almost, in that he cannot even conceive of a world that he is not loved and that he is not adored by people. But I think that reads really well in the film, and I think it exemplifies the kind of situation that the character is stuck in, where he has the tools, he has the ability, he has the charisma to kind of get to a greater part of his life and to do something grander, but what he lacks is the motivation. So it's not the outside image, it's what's inside that he is trying to work on, which I really enjoyed.
That's beautiful.
What did it teach you about cinema?
The thing that this taught me about cinema is that you really can make something and it really can be successful. You really are able to create something. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the best thing you've ever seen, as long as there is something going for it, something that is to be appreciated about it. As long as you care about it, I think it's going to be there.
Yeah,
And I
love
think that shows up from Vin.
Okay, and let's talk about vignettes.
Let's do.
I think my vignette, as I talked about earlier, has to be the unaccompanied a cappella Tin Man song.
It's beautiful.
I love hearing people sing. I love hearing people singing voices. And to have the kind of pleasure of hearing Vin's singing voice without any other production was just a joy. And even though it was a very awkward moment in the movie, and I'm still not exactly sure what he was trying to accomplish as a creator of the movie or as a character in the story, I still really, really love that moment. What was your favorite vignette?
It's very standout. My favorite vignette is kind of the movie as a whole, although I will boil it down to there is a monologue that he does when he finds out that one of his friends has been doing some pretty torrentially bad things. He goes on a long ranting monologue, and he is raw. He feels the emotion. He cries. He acts his heart out. He is genuinely good in that scene. And I think the vignette overall is that this is a really unique point in Vin Diesel's career, where he even said it himself in that same interview for the film festival. He said, other people, and maybe it was a little haughty of him, he said other people want to make something as guerrilla as this, but once you get into the studio atmosphere, you're not really able to go back. And I think that's true. I don't think Vin Diesel could make Strays today. I don't know that he would, even if he had the opportunity. So it's kind of beautiful that we have it.
It's also very strange how little it feels like Strays is informing the rest of his career.
It's not the Rosetta Stone of the career, for sure.
Yeah, I'm prepared to let it teach me more as we watch more of his movies, but it really, having just watched this movie, I don't think I could have guessed where his career was going to go after that.
Certainly not. I will say, if we're taking shots at what I think will be the takeaway from Strays, is that kind of feeling of, yes, big muscle man, yes, big, strong, punchy guy, but also, more importantly, trying to be better, trying to have a heart, trying to be a person with morals, and adjusting their life based on those morals.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. We are now.
Speaking of trying to improve yourself, speaking of being a big muscle guy who wants to have a heart and wants to engage with the world and being a, being a very emotional character, we are going to watch Iron Giant next week.
Oh, yes, Iron Giant next week.
And I'm so excited. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.
Hashtag.
Oh, right.
Hashtag Diesel in the Vineyard. Diesel in Vineyard.
Diesel and Vineyard.
Hashtag Diesel in Vineyard.